I want to make this video today because I want to do an end of year recap for myself, but also share some value as to what it's been like to day trade for just about 3 years now. And what has that journey realistically looked like for someone who started at age 21 and is 24 now. And just kind of go over everything that you can expect to endure and expect to, excel at if you're going to get into this yourself or if you're in a similar position. So I don't have much notes prepared and I really wanted to go a little bit more off the cuff with this video, but let's just start out with actually we'll keep it on me for a little longer. Let's start out with where did I begin? I got fired from a job, started to just realize I can't trust someone else with my income and I need to take control of this for myself. So that began basically the first year of a lot of Investopedia research, Google, YouTube, watching videos, trying to get a grasp of what this is because we've all seen the scams and yada yada, know about the failure rate, and I just didn't want to be a part of that. So I knew that I needed to take this seriously, like I would go to college, because at the time I was in college for a different career path, which has kept me afloat throughout this time. Now, in the first year, I did get into some live trading. I bought a prop account. I did deposit my own money. However, I was pretty low on the expenditures in the first year. I probably spent about $1,000 in my first year of day trading. And in my second year was when it really started to pick up. The actual expenses started to pick up. The learning did too, but the expenses did as well. So I took on basically just I took on debt from paying for prop firms. I took on debt for paying for mentorship. I took on debt for flying to meet my mentor. Basically in-person events, paying for conference tickets, flights, hotels, you name it. This was all coming out of my pocket. I did open a business, but still, it was out of my pocket. So, plus the business expense, which we can get into later. Um, so once I started getting into my second year of trading, that is when I paid for a mentorship, which I would definitely recommend anybody do. But maybe not in your first 6 months. Pay for a mentorship after you've kind of struggled for a little bit and you're starting to get the hang of things. And I do have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel. They're kind of old now, but there are some strategy videos there and stuff like that. Basically, paid for mentorship, basically kind of got my first payouts going, started to see what this was all about, but essentially just hemorrhaged money. I lost probably 15 grand last year through prop firms, mentorship, education, conferences, stuff like that, about 15,000. And last year in 2024, I made $500. So I lost about 14,500, which is fine. That was basically expected. Coming into this year is really what I want to talk about more and have most of the focus being on. So let's pull up the doc and let's go through this a bit. So this year, what's really important is being able to break down the your year and say, what do you actually have to show for it? Because this year was a very tough year for me. One of my tougher years mentally in my short life as of now. Just really kind of had a difficult time because I had a lot of expectations of success and uh, kind of easy money, if I'm going to be honest with myself in a way. The first quarter, I decided to quit my job, or I went like 2 days a week. So pretty much quit my job and went trading full time. I did not have any other income sources at the time. and I was hemorrhaging my savings. I was losing a lot of money every month. I was going on streams, but I was not being paid for those streams. I was trying to sell prop firm accounts, but didn't have any platform to sell them on. And the ones I did, I sold a few. I think I made about $600 of affiliate commissions for prop firms last year or this year. And I made about $1,000 from Edgeful, selling affiliates, and then I got a $2,000 payment for making a course for a company. So I was able to scrape by with making a little bit of money here and there. However, that it was not enough money to sustain. And from January to April of this year was extremely difficult time for me. I was running through my savings, trying to trade, really stressed out every day, forcing myself to make content in a 400 square foot house I was living in LA with my girlfriend, um, taking care of her after an injury. Like there was just a lot going on here while working full time, or I guess no, not anymore. But there was just a lot going on here. I was very stressed. It was a very difficult time in my life. Ended up losing a lot of money and moved to the house you see me in now. So that was the first quarter. The first quarter was struggle. The second quarter was like, wow, I am just loving the life I have up here. Not living in Los Angeles anymore, getting to be out in nature, seeing just a different side of what my life could be. I got a job that did start to pay a little bit better, and just basically got a job that was able to keep me sustaining. And this whole second quarter, I was trading, but really not focused. Still unpacking, like just not on my best trading edge, a little uncertain about, what was going to happen still halfway through Q2 with my job and getting a job and whatnot. So, but also at the same time, I was attempting my first real 10K payout that I was trying to go for with Top One Futures. And that costed me about $1,600, I think, in like 1 or 2 months to try and make 10K. Um, I know I didn't make it, and that was really, really tough on me. Financially, I struggle with one loss turning into kind of a spiral of this is not going to work and you're going to fail. And I know that's the mindset that needs to change in my life to make trading work. Um, and so I kind of took a small break there. And when I came back to it in Q3, I was feeling very unconfident about my strategy. It was very discretionary. I wasn't feeling confident in my setups. And I started a podcast as well in Q2 and had a great guest on, Lawrence, who's ended up being a huge, very impactful person for me this year, in Q3 and Q4. He has a great YouTube channel. I will link it below. Lawrence the Investor. Highly recommend his content. He is a profitable trader that has been doing this full time. And he shared a lot of great information in his YouTube videos. And what I did was I just did the work. I did the work, found what my best setups were, how I wanted to trade the market, and really refined how and when I take action at the desk. I focused on process, not P&L. And I ended up having a pretty solid Q3, not making money, but just getting back on track after basically a really kind of null, crappy 6 months to start the year. And going into the fourth quarter here, which we find ourselves in now, I quit prop firms. I just said I just need to trade my personal cash because that is going to be my best chance to find profitability because I had so much built up emotions with prop firms and the consistency rules and passing things and making money, but then not being able to take it out. Like it was so there's so much going on in the prop firms that um I just didn't want to be a part of it, to be honest, anymore. I live in California. uh, online gambling is illegal here. So if this ever gets classified as online gambling, then that income would be gone. So I'd have to open a personal account anyway. Um, Basically, I've just been on a terrible losing streak the last few weeks. Like this is my real P&L from my personal account. And this is what that looks like. Really pretty brutal, to be honest. But none of this is tilt. There's no tilt days. Um, there's days where I did things to my position, like moving the stop or whatnot, that was calculated in advance, but then in hindsight, just not the move to make. So I just got in a pretty big rut in the end of the year here, and I called it this week. Today, I'm recording this on Friday, December 19th, and on Tuesday of this week, I said, "I'm done. I've already felt like I've lost when I entered the trade. This is it's not a good place for me to be at. I was literally just getting stopped out to the tick on many trades, back and forth, and then they go in my direction. So it's like I'm seeing myself trading in the right direction, in the right bias of the day, and getting stopped out, not able to get back in, just switching sides. Overall, all the really poor habits that um, lead to tilt, but really overall very proud of myself for not tilting, not being a shitty money manager, I guess you could call it, in pretty much the most, you know, the biggest losing streak of my career. So you got to find the positives in the negatives somewhere. And me stepping back, I was doing some martial art. Like I've been doing MMA for a couple years, and I was doing some jujitsu, and I got injured. So the last 3-4 months, I haven't been doing that because I'm injured. Haven't been working out, and you see that that takes a toll on you when you're not working out. I don't know as a woman, but as a man. And so what I do 2 days ago, stopped trading, got back working out, forcing myself to do that even when it's uncomfortable. Got a good sweat in, um, getting my house in order, getting my desk in order, getting my closets in order, like getting everything in order in my life so that when I do come back to the charts the week after Christmas, I am ready, locked in, focused, can spend the time that I need to on the desk, and then move on about my day after that. So what can you take away from this as a viewer? Things do not happen as fast as you might expect them. That is something that I have really struggled with this year, and it's so important to try and keep the wind behind your sails the best that you can, and a break is not taking the wind out of your sails. The break is giving you wind back in your sails if you're struggling. If you're showing up to the desk and not excited, not ready, loathing the time that you're going to have to trade, you're burnt out and you've got to get off the desk. And kind of this video is me acknowledging I just got burnt out and just wanted to see some money in my pocket so that I could go on vacation or something. But the thing is, I can still go on vacation with the other job I have. So, you know, overall, I hope you guys took some value from this. I'm going to try and upload a few times a month, and maybe do some trade stuff, maybe do some mindset stuff. Let me know if you guys want a Discord or anything from me, because I am a serious trader. I take this very seriously. I am in this for the long run. I'm not a scammer either. I don't sell. I'm not like I might want to sell something in the future, but like I'm until I'm making good money. And to me, profitable means you're either profitable means one of two things. One, you're making more than you're spending, you're profitable. Or two, you're profitable meaning you can live off your income that you make day trading. And I don't know if I ever am gonna or ever want to get to that period. Of course I do, but whether I'll actually leave myself in that period or not, I'm not sure. Um, this year I really have grown to appreciate the consistent income I can make from a job that works around my schedule of trading. So that's been very important this year. Um, Let me know what kind of videos you guys want from someone who's really just sharing the journey and sharing what's going on in their personal life and how it relates to trading so that I can become the best person I can be and then therefore be the best person on the charts that I can be.